The old barn creaked under the weight of the wind, its roof leaking where time had torn it apart. Inside, among the dusty hay and broken tools, a thin dog lay curled in the corner, ribs sharp against his fragile skin. His fur, once golden, was now tangled and dull, covered in the dirt of months gone by. He had been waiting far too long. Once, he had a name, a warm home, and laughter that echoed across the fields. His owner had brought him here one summer afternoon, tied him gently to a wooden post, saying he'd return after fixing the fence. But the man never came back. Days turned to weeks, and the cheerful barks turned into soft whimpers swallowed by the silence of the countryside. The food he was left with ran out quickly, and the water bucket dried under the sun's harsh stare. Still, every sound of footsteps outside made him lift his head, eyes bright for a moment before fading again. He believed with every beat of his heart that the man he loved would return because that's what dogs do. They believe, even when the world forgets them. When hunger struck, he chewed on the old rope that held him, but it was too thick. When the nights grew cold, he burrowed into the hay, shivering beneath the drafts that whistled through the wooden walls. Each dawn came like a promise, and each night fell like betrayal. The mice that scurried nearby became his only company, and the faint light from the cracks in the wall his only hope. Then one morning, after what felt like forever, he heard voices, laughter, the sound of boots stepping through the grass. His head lifted weakly, tail twitching for the first time in weeks. 2 teenagers had wandered into the old barn, chasing a stray ball. When they saw him, their smiles vanished. "Oh my God," one whispered, dropping to their knees. The dog tried to stand, but his legs trembled. His eyes met theirs, empty yet pleading. They ran out and came back with their father, a local farmer, who knelt beside him, his face shadowed by guilt and sorrow. "You poor thing," he whispered, cutting the rope that had bound the dog to loneliness. The dog didn't bark or struggle. He simply rested his head against the man's arm, as if saying, "I waited." That day, the barn that once held only silence became a place of rescue. The farmer took him home, fed him warm soup, and wrapped him in an old blanket. For days, the dog slept too tired to eat, too weak to wag his tail. But one evening, when the sun dipped below the horizon, he opened his eyes, saw the man who saved him sitting nearby, and wagged his tail just once, slow but sure. It was his final thank you before drifting off into peace, no longer waiting, no longer forgotten.